Good evening. I am Nicole Everett,
I'm Jacinta Horn.
Nick Rings, dating coach.
and we are the love team of Single in the City. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How y'all doing?
Woo!
How y'all doing? Hopefully, you had a great Christmas and holiday. We're in Kwanzaa season right now, but it's just been a great time. So we were with you 2 weeks ago and decided to come back with a panel a dynamic panel of men and women. At our last broadcast, there was conversation around building a man. So we decided to talk about building a man and building a woman. So before we get into the panel and allowing them to come on and introducing themselves, we want to have you tell us where you're from. Please, in the comments, put your city and state in, like, share, and call your friends. Tell them to come on here and be part of this conversation. It's going to be a lively conversation.
I don't want to miss it. Definitely. I'm looking forward to this with Nicole Jacinta. Man, don't want to miss it. Invite your friends, invite your family, mom, dad, whoever.
Yes.
Yes. And we were trying to decide if Build a Man was like the perfect topic. So it'd be good to hear what people think about that topic or understand what we mean when we say build a man or build a woman.
Mm-hmm.
So do y'all think that it's self-explanatory or we need to really break it down?
I think it's kind of self-explanatory, but we can give a little background.
Is it sort of like that place you build a bear? Is it sort of like that? Kind of add what you need, whatever what you're looking for, something like that.
That's kind of what comes to mind. And we got to give credit to one of our panelists who actually said it on our last show, Jacinta Ciay. When she said it, it just kind of, stuck.
Yes, that's right. We got her on here tonight, so maybe she'll expound. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I see Nasheed Mayun, who's right in Tallahassee. Hey there. Dominique.
Break it down. Dominique said break it down.
Yes.
Stay tuned, Dominique. Stay tuned.
Russell Dean.
Hi, Russell.
Russell.
Hope you had a wonderful Christmas also.
Yes.
We need you to come back on, Russell.
Absolutely.
Part 2. We need part 2, Russ.
We do. Dominique said, because I'm not sure if I want to build a man. All right.
Well, that's just it, Dominique. We don't want to build a man, but how that came about is we were saying that it normally takes about 3 different men for us to be satisfied or get that one man that we're looking for. So we have heard guys say the same thing. So that's why we said build a man. But no, we don't want to have to build a man. A man should already be built, otherwise he may need to be called something else.
Yes. All right. So with that, do we want to introduce our panel?
I think so. I think they're ready. Bring them out.
Bring them out. Nick, you got the music?
I wish I did. See, I be saying stuff. I be queuing. I be giving myself cues, but I don't be ready myself. I don't even be ready yet.
Well, they come from different cities and states, so we need to bring them out.
Represent.
All right, so let's start. We're going to start with the ladies first.
Ooh, yes, ladies first.
Play.
Yes.
This is Miss Build a Man.
Miss Build a Man herself. Next, we have Miss Jenelle Nicole Robinson.
Earrings popping.
Yes.
Yes.
And then we have Miss Upendo.
That's my girl.
Upendo has been on before as a guest during these live broadcasts that we've had. Jacinta as well, but back when we were at Two Step. So welcome.
Yeah. Well, all 3 of them have.
Oh yeah.
Actually, yeah, all 3.
Yeah.
Upendo, are those guitars in the back?
It is.
Nice.
More to the store. Hey, more to the store, Jacinta. More to the store. Stay tuned.
Quite the conversation piece.
Wow.
Right. Next, we're going to have Archie, the gentleman. So we're going to start with Archie Beslow. Hey,
Hey.
Testosterone just entered the building. Testosterone in the building.
Oh my God.
Let's do it.
Next, Carlos Rain.
Let's do it. Testosterone. Let's go. It was a whole look. Like, I'm glad y'all here. Like, it was a whole bunch of estrogen in the building, and I'm so glad I got a lot of testosterone to join me. So, all right, welcome, fellas. Let's go.
We got you. We're gonna hold it down for you.
Let's do it.
All right, and last but not least, Mr. Henry Johnson, who has
what's up, man?
What's going on?
Brother.
Yes.
So I have
Hey,
family.
everybody, how y'all doing?
Good. So we got a whole lot of people giving shouts out.
Hola.
Levon, your friends over the house. So a whole lot of folks giving shouts out here.
Okay, we already see we got some favorites.
And the man in the building.
Yes. Okay, good.
Listen, Dan was ready to answer that question when I posted last week, so I know he's ready.
Okay. All right, so let's go.
Who want to start out? What's the flaming hot topic? Jacinta, we're not trying to, take it off mute, first of all. We're not trying to put you on the spot, but last week you were the one that gave us the Build a Man topic.
So Jacinta, like when she said that, give us the premise behind that, like what kind of sparked that thought, that conversation. So we'll start with you since you kind of like the person that kind of birthed that thought. So go ahead.
Okay. It is a very hot topic. Usually when we talk about, when I know we're talking to various women, when we talk about what we want out of a man, we usually talk about more than one man at a time and the aspects that we like of each one of them. So in our minds, we build a man that we want, and usually when we meet people or start dating individuals, we see certain characteristics in our mind of what we want, but it's not the total complete concept of what we have in our mind.
Good. I like that. So Nicole, now did we give our guests, panelists, a chance to kind of represent where they're from too? Did we do that? Because I didn't want to move forward without doing that.
We did not. So let's do
that. Let's do that. I want them to represent as well where they may be at, where they coming from.
So we're gonna start with you, Jacinta. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm 38. I'm single. I am representing the 850 right here in Tallahassee, Florida.
Okay.
All right.
Nice. All right, Jenelle Nicole.
Sorry, I had it on mute. I am Jenelle Nicole Robinson. I reside in Tallahassee, Florida. I am currently in Little Rock, Arkansas, where I am originally from, single as well.
Okay, thank you. Upendo.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Upendo Shabazz, and I am 28 years old, and I reside in Palm Beach County, Florida. I'm currently in the ATL right now.
Okay.
Oh, I know where you're at. Tell her I said hey.
All right. Let's go with Archie next.
Hey, I'm Archie from Washington, D.C., age 50. How old am I? I think I'm 53. And everything else is to be determined.
All right. Thank you, Archie. Up next, Carlos.
All right. I'm actually representing the 229. I'm originally from Tallahassee as well. I'm pretty simple. Store manager, got my own spot, got my own vehicle. I'm just loving life and living life.
Okay.
Now, what's the 229? What area code is the 229?
All right, that's South Georgia. I'm in Albany, Georgia. I'm representing Albany, Georgia.
Okay.
Albany. Okay, Albany State.
Oh, yeah. Golden Rams.
Thank you, Carlos. And last but not least, Mr. Henry. Tell us a little bit about you.
Henry Johnson, representing the 205 from the 773 Chicago, but been living in Birmingham too long. Just turned 48 December the 10th.
Okay.
Living life to its fullest.
Happy belated.
No kids and not married.
All right.
My man.
Good deal. All right. Well, thank you all for those introductions. So let's start out talking about build a man. So we've already kind of got the gist of this, right? In terms of and some of this has been a conversation that Joketra and I had. We actually said it takes about 5 men to make one man. So with that said, and just for clarity purposes, when we say it takes about 5 or 3 to 5 men to make one man, there may be some attributes of a particular man that another man doesn't have. So one may be more handy, one may be more spiritual, one may be more sensitive, one may be more industrious. So one may be more physical, while another one may not. One may be more sexual. So that's, we talking about all of that. All of that. So what do y'all think? Let's start with the ladies. What do y'all think about the whole build a man concept?
So do we want to kind of order this thing out? Because I know Jacinta just went. Do you want to go from right to left real quick? Jenelle, you want to chime in on that? Upendo, whichever one y'all want to go.
So the concept of build a man, I do think that I have dated guys before where I felt like there was a deficiency, whether it was mentally or physically or emotionally, and thought, I just wish he had this one thing. There was recently a guy who was brilliant. He was a brilliant guy, but he wasn't very physically attractive. And then I met a guy who was very, very physically attractive, but mentally wasn't sure we could connect on that. And so I was like, if we could just put these two together, this would be the perfect guy, or at least ideally in my mind, I was thinking that would be the perfect guy. But I do think that happens often, and I think it's individualized based on your standards. I am of the mindset that I can build up a man. So I think if he is deficient in something, like physically, I have seen guys and I was like, oh, he looks a hot mess, and I will buy him clothes, and I'm trying to get him together because I'm going to do the best I can with what you got. If mentally some things are missing, I'm like, okay, here's some books. I got some books for you to read. Let's read some books together. If emotionally he's absent, I'm like, hey, let's look at some therapists. Let's see what we can do to connect you. So in my mind, even if there's one that's deficient, I'm trying to figure out ways to help them with that flaw or that deficiency while I'm knowing I'm not perfect as well. So for me, that's how I deal with it when I feel like, okay, now I feel like if you deficient in too many things and it's too much work for me, yeah, I'm probably not gonna fool with you if it's too much work for me. So,
wow. I feel like Jenelle, I feel like you're a community resource hub. I mean, with everything you just said, man, it's just like you got him. You know what I'm saying? You got him. But anyway, I love that.
I'm a community resource hub. I love that. I have been called a connector because I see different things in people, and I'll say I'm gonna connect you to this or I'm gonna connect you to that. So, and I tell people, I tell guys especially, if you enter my life, you will never be the same. So that's what it is.
That can be very taxing. That can be taxing in dating when you have to be the community resource.
Well, this is only if I am, like, if this is somebody I'm truly invested in. If I'm just dating, no. But once we get to that friendship level and a little further, then I'm a little bit more invested in you becoming a better person in whatever way that is. But initially, I'm not putting that work in.
Mm-mm. She's not spending her resources on somebody she don't feel like she needs to invest in. Yeah, she's not doing that. Yeah. All right, great. Upendo.
Wow, it's really hard to come behind Jenelle. I mean, Jenelle, you're my spirit. You're my spirit animal because I'm nowhere near that. I'm not building no man. I got time to build a man. I've been there, done that. So, the concept of building a man, I'm challenged by that because I think at this point in my life, definitely I've met and dated guys who have, like you said, deficiencies. I don't call them deficiencies. I call them, that's just who they are. That's just who they are. at this point in time, you know? And I can either choose to deal with who they are or I can move on. So I'm just a little bit more, you're a spirit animal, Jenelle. I want to get to where you at and trying to invest time. I don't have time. I don't.
Well, let's be clear. I think that every person is going to come with some type of issue, or what, you know, even if we don't want to call it deficiency. And so what I thought about a long time ago, well, actually recently, my mom was sick. She had surgery, and she required 24/7 care for at least a week. And it was very taxing. And it made me rethink if I ever wanted to get married, because I was like, if a worse looks like this, I'm not sure I would want to do it, because I'm not trying to be up and down all throughout the night, trying to wipe your behind. Like, I don't know if I got that in me. And I said that to one of my best friends, and she said, well, what if it was on the other foot? What if it was you? You know, and in my mind, I'm like, I would want him to do it. I wouldn't want to put this barrier on nobody. Just let me just die. Let me just go ahead and be whatever I'm gonna be. Cause I believe in quality of life. So I don't want to have a poor quality of life, just living my life for years and years with poor quality of life if it got to that point. But my point is, the reason I say I'm willing to build up is because I'm believing I have issues. I got emotional issues and mental issues. I got a therapist still. Nick was my relationship coach. So I have the resources. I still got issues that I hope he'll deal with and help me with, and vice versa. So I can't expect you to have all these things I want when I know I don't possess all those things as well. But no, I'm not into building a man. I'm definitely into building up, but I think there's a set criteria of what he has to come to the table with. And I think each of us in our minds, we say, okay, he has to have this, and this, and we'll compromise on certain things that we know he might be able to improve on in the future. And then there are those things, like you said, not having it. And there are, for me, certain things that I'm like, nope, let's not even entertain this moving forward. So,
man, so I love it. So the men have been very, very patient, very patient. So I'm gonna let the men cross-examine everything that's been said in a minute. Cross-examine. Hey, I said it. So what we're gonna do before I do that, though, because the men has been very patient, I want to give it to the ladies first. Do you have any other thoughts that you want to say before I give it to the men and let them give their side of what they think about this topic?
Just piggybacking off of what? Oh, go ahead, Jaketra.
Well, I just want to be clear on the topic. When we talk about building a man or a woman, what we're saying is taking something from one man and another man in order to create the one man that you want, not building up a man, but constructing a man, building a man or a woman. So I just want to be clear on that's what the topic is building a man, taking something from 3 or 4 different men to make the one man that you want. You know, one man might be lacking in communication skills, but the other man might have those communication skills. One man might be physically just fit and fine and everything on the exterior, but his interior is jacked up, or the way he treats you. That's what when I hear build a man, that's what I'm talking about.
So are you advocating for talking to multiple people who have different attributes? Is that what you're saying, Jaketra?
Well, that's what Jacinta was saying when she first started out, when she said build a man, is that she's taking something from 3 different men or 2 different men in order to create the one man. You know,
where you're literally saying dating the 3 or different men at the same time who have the attributes. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm not necessarily saying that you have to date them. It could be that you could, or in passing, you just had conversation with someone and it was such a wonderful conversation. Y'all were, able to communicate well. And then you met a guy and you just think back, man, his communication skills are lacking. I really enjoyed talking to Tom. I just wish Dick had what Tom had, because I'm physically attracted to Dick, but his communication is poor. So that's the basics of what I thought when we said build a man. I mean, Jacinta, is that what you were thinking?
Yes.
So
that's what it is. when you're talking about building, like I love what Jenelle was saying about build up a man. It's totally different from build a man, but look, definitely men need to be built up. That's a whole different topic or discussion. But to build a man, we usually do, like Jaquitra was saying, we usually like something particular about this man or something particular about another man, and we can put them together in our mind and say this is the perfect man for us. And when we have this perfect idea or man for us and we go out there looking, this man doesn't
I mean,
exist.
when I think of this topic, and I don't mean any disrespect when I say this, because I live in reality, and when I think of this topic, I think about Mr. Potato Head. You know, you have to put the hat on, the glasses on, the ears on.
Yes.
At the end of the day, it's still a potato. No matter how much you put on that potato, it's still a potato. So I live in the reality is, if this person is all these physical attributes, but is as dumb as a box of rocks, I need to decide whether or not the physicality is what I desire more in a brain. And vice versa, on the opposite end, an unattractive person, but can stimulate my mind. I'm mature enough to look past that because he fits all this other stuff. Because at the end of the day, I can't build what is not there. I don't care how much you invest in a person. If they're dumb as a box of rocks, I don't care how many books you give them. They're not going to read them.
Yo, Pendo, you sound like you keep describing the Tin Man from the Wizard of Oz or something. That's what I keep, when you say dumb as a box of rocks, that's what I keep thinking about every time you say it.
What we're saying is, why does it have to be? We're just saying that when we have conversation with a lot of our female friends, a lot of times what ends up happening is, if only he was like such and such, then that would be my ideal person. So I know that you may not find the perfect person, but that could be the perfect person for you. So what we're saying, our thinking is, why does it have to be that we are having to look at 3 to 5 different men in order to create one man that is our ideal man?
So you're talking about a mental state then. You're talking about a mental state.
That's part of it.
That's part of it, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's good. So can we, Nicole, do you got anything?
I do. I really like this comment that Evelyn put up, saying that sometimes you have to accept some flaws. You can't have it. You can't have it all. And so I think that, and it was kind of mentioned a little bit earlier about non-negotiables or things that, you just aren't willing to be without. So I think that's part of this whole build a man conversation, build a woman conversation as well. I just thought that was a great point. Okay.
Well, I think that, go ahead, Nick.
No, the men has been patient. I'm just so ready to hear what they have to say. Okay. So just a point of order, since we started from right to left, because we have a lot of people, I want to do the same thing with the men. So Henry, I want to start with you. You heard the topic. Just elaborate on whatever you think or what is going to your mind right now, what you heard, whatever. Go ahead.
When it comes to women, it's like the communication in Birmingham is like horrific. It's like sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. But it's like they don't communicate when they're not good or when they are good. Yeah, I understand how the women look at it from the perspective of they can find this but don't find that. I get that. But also, too, if you communicate with that person on a consistent basis, if you're into them, then, like one of the people said, you can't have it all. I understand that. But in this life, I don't think anything is going to be perfect. And yeah, I'm 48 years old. When I was younger, of course, I wanted 80%. I got to find 80% what I want in a woman. If not, then such and such and such. Then I got, got in the 30s. Okay, went down to 75. Now, give me 65%. But you got to understand, in this life that you live, you can always search for the, like she said, the Mr. Potato Head, put the, you got the fake lashes, you got the hairpiece and wig on, you got the ruby lips and all this and that, the hips and all that. But mentally, at the end of the day, if you're not connecting to that person, that's an open or shut case. Mentally, I got to be into you where I want to hear your voice. How's your day going? What happened? All this and that. That's something to me that builds and sustains a relationship, not just, okay, yeah, I got this dude that look like, Vin Diesel,
What
but
you
then
say?
I got, then you
Okay.
got this, then you got, this other dude, brained out like Urkel Jr., but then you want Urkel to turn into Stephon, you know what I'm saying? Suave and charismatic.
I like it. I
You
like
know
that,
what I'm
Henry. I
saying?
like that. I like that.
So,
That's a good
and
example. That's the example right there.
right. So it's like I understand, ladies, what you're talking about. I do. But also, if you communicate and get mentally into that person, physical gonna come and go. Negro could be getting in the gym 5 days a week, lifting the whole gym up and then some, you know. But then after he get with you, you're gonna want that time. So if you want that time, why the hell you gotta go to the gym every day? I want you to be over here. I'm cooking dinner for you. I'm doing this, doing that. So that's another set of problems right there. Or if this man has the money, as some of these women say, then he's working a lot. Why the hell you ain't home? But baby, I had to work overtime on this project. I don't give a damn about that. You need to have your ass here because I'm tired of this. This is 5 days a week. You've been on home 3 days a week. Then but you turn around. So it's like, as men, we catch hell because I even give you an example, and I told Keitra this the other night. Female, I've been cool with her, nothing sexual or anything like that. She's like, yeah, been a good boyfriend, so we need to have candlelight dinner. Okay, it's Christmas Eve. I ain't got nothing else to do. So the place she started naming, they were high end. I'm like, oh, this is the day before Christmas. Everybody finna eat a good Christmas dinner, so I ain't finna eat heavy like that. So found a place that was suitable, got it, ordered it. She told me what she wanted. So I was at a bar that I do security at, had a drink, left on the way. She called and she's like, well, you asked some men right to get it. So the place called me saying, you here? Yeah, I'm walking through the door, got it. Went to the house, set it up. She had the counter light going, placed all the food out. I said, let's say grace before we eat. She looks at me with a snabby attitude like, it took you too long to bring it. I don't feel like eating. Right then and there, it took everything in me not to just go off. Because I'm a gentleman first and foremost. So I said, okay. I sat back in the chair and chill. Where's this person that's on Facebook that's thoughtful, caring, considerate, and all this and that? I said, well, I'm who I am. I'm not perfect. That's a cop out. That's a cop out. I'm like, huh? So I said, okay, cool. So I just sat there. She said, well, I'm getting sleepy. I'm ready to go to bed. I said, well, can I have a hug for Christmas? She said, that a door. So me still being a gentleman, I said, Merry Christmas. I get 5 minutes away
Henry,
to drive by.
Henry, I got a
Yeah.
question to ask.
Yeah.
Okay, based on what the things that she said and said, where's this thoughtful, all this gentleman? Okay, my question is, as a male, do you feel that you have to create your ideal woman from 3 or 4 different women? Or do you feel like you can meet one woman?
You know what? And this is the thing. I think that's the biggest problem. You want to have this person, you want to have that, this, that, and this. Not saying you want females are doing that or not. Me, I'm just gonna roll with one. If I'm getting that 65%, 60%, I'm gonna roll with it. Yeah, you want one with around the backside, a perky breast, a little smaller waist, But at the end of the day, if you connecting mentally, it's a good ball game because you can communicate. The object you have to communicate. If you don't communicate, it's an open and shut case in the game. And that's
Okay,
what I gotta
so
look at it.
you don't believe in you're having to construct a woman. Okay.
You know, because women, okay, let's say it, let's be real. Women are stubborn, excuse me for my language, as individuals. They are not gonna change. They like, Negro, you gonna set me for who I am, or you can hit the highway. So most women are not going to change. As far as they're constructing and building one, they ain't finna have it whatsoever. They're not. I mean, you'll be a fool as a man to think you finna change a woman because you got money, you got this cloud of distinction. No, it's not finna happen. You just be the biggest fool of the century to think you're gonna change a woman. So accept what she brings to the table. Now she so something else that is like detrimental. Get your ass in the car and run. Roll out. But as far as just thinking you finna reconstruct a woman, slam to none. Especially in our age bracket. Younger is even probably worse now. And I hate to say that, but it's just being real from what I see.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So thank you. So who's next?
Carlos next. Go ahead. Thank you, Henry.
Carlos gotta take it off mute. Tell Carlos, take it off mute.
Carlos.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I think one of the main issues that a lot of women don't know how to incorporate in their life, they don't know how to put they put temporary people in places. It's a lot of men that's really in your life that's supposed to be temporarily to show you something. And a lot of times women want to put every man that they meet in a permanent position. And that's not so. And then it turns to bitterness due to the fact of it seems like you can't find the ideal guy. But really, in actuality, this guy was just pretty much in your life to provide you with a lesson that you need to learn for when Mr. Right come along. You don't know your flaws. You don't know the different things that you may not like. You may like this. You may not like that. You may feel like he can do this, but this person can't do that. But this person was in your life temporarily. He was never supposed to be in a permanent position in your life. So a lot of times women hold the wrong men accountable. And when I say that to say this. Peanut and Scooter, these guys that you already know got all these red flags. You'd already done seen them. You done seen the red flags, but you ignore them. You ignore these red flags and you give yourself to them. And then when Mr. Right come along, it's a situation where you went from Cardi B to Michelle Obama.
So Carlos,
it's like,
Carlos, do you feel that you have to take different women in order to create the ideal woman?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Thank you.
You have one more thing to say, right, Carlos? You have one more thing to say?
Oh, absolutely. I was just getting started, but I'll wrap it up.
Hey, but
I'll wrap it up.
But hold on, real quick. Based off what Jacinta just asked you, you said absolutely not. Explain why you don't have to. Why you feel that way?
Yes, thank you, Nick.
All right. Okay, so this is the thing. Every person is going to have a flaw that you don't like. Nobody is ideal, okay? Yes. But this is the thing. Like, you can't ignore red flags. When it's a situation where you feel like you cannot deal with this, or is it like this is too much, you got to cut them off. It's not no situation where you be like, you know what, maybe they gonna change, maybe they gonna do this, maybe if I keep talking to them. No, if it's something that you don't want to deal with, why are you dealing with it? It's about knowing your worth, knowing who you are as a person. It's certain stuff that I'm not gonna deal with. I'm just not. So it's not a situation where I'm gonna prolong a relationship and I know I'm not happy. I know within myself, if I don't see myself with this person long term, or if I get around this person and I don't enjoy their company, the vibe is off, the chemistry is not there, you got to go. I'm not holding on to a person that I'm not comfortable with. You got to go. It's deuces.
That's good. That's good, Carlos. And Upendo seemed like she agree. And so
yeah, she's throwing them up.
And so I just, before we get really into it, because I think I just want to hear everybody first, and then we can get into this dialogue of back and forth. So Archie, I want you to go. Nicole, unless you got something else, or Jaketra, and then we can get into the back and forth so we can kind of get this thing a little more stimulating. Go ahead, Archie.
So good evening, everybody. Loving the show, loving the topics. I come from a radio background, being a radio, I have my own radio show, also the author of several books. And I oftentimes hear different people have these intellectual conversations about, what people want, what people don't want. I come from a place of giving solutions. I firmly believe in, if we actually was to get with a mate, actually write down our pros and cons and kind of make it cute. So write down your pros, his pros, her cons, slide the papers across from each other, read it, and then kind of have a joke about it. Well, I can't do that. I don't think I can do this. That way you guys are starting a dialogue. You can actually build a woman, and you can actually build a man. You really can. But it comes to the point of how much you're going to settle. As we get older, like Henry was saying, when we get older, we're going to settle a little less. We're not going to just settle. We're going to want what we want. When you're younger, you can settle, you can recover, but as you get older, you can't recover. So I'm a firm believer in having that conversation. Talk about your past experiences, what you don't like, what you didn't like, or what you do like. And then if we can make that match, then that's a start. But if you get in a conversation, a lot of people get in a conversation based off emotions. It's a feel good because the person look good, the good cologne, like Henry said, eyelashes, nice body, great jobs. So we get kind of lured into that. Mm-hmm. Instead of going into the actual questions. What are some of the things you don't like? What you didn't like about your last boyfriend? What you didn't like about your last girlfriend? So we need to start conversations like that, because the past is important. Because if you don't talk about the past in the beginning, the past is going to haunt you in the end. So I'm gonna leave it right there, because I like the back and forth. But I truly think you can actually create your own male or your own woman if you actually start that process when you first meet. Just jot down some notes. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. And you guys exchange your notes, and right then and there, hopefully they're telling the truth, but at least you got a guideline on where to start when it comes to that mate that you're trying to get with.
All right. Thank you, Archie. Nicole, yes, you got anything? Thank you.
I do. So can you ask the same question of Archie in terms of, what was your question to Carlos? Did he feel the need to
I think Archie, he answered it. He said he think that you can actually build a woman. Is that right, Archie?
I'm building in every relationship I go until I get the right one. So I'm continuing to build.
Yeah, Archie said yes.
I'm building as I go.
Okay, so
you're the in my mind I'm single, right? That's I just want to clarify. You are that one, right?
No, I'm single.
No, I'm saying. Okay. It's no longer in your mind. Single. It's no longer in your mind.
It's gonna always be in my mind till I put a ring on somebody's finger.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So
other than that, you're just playing games.
All right. So listen, there are a lot of comments here. A couple of the ones that I want to highlight. Dan had a comment earlier about comparison, and there was a lot of interaction on here from folks about comparison. So I'll read this one. He said, "But you will never be satisfied if you are building a man based on the attributes of others or the lack thereof. Hell, you will never find him because you are comparing with other suitors." So I don't know. Are we comparing when we have more than one man or woman to build a man or woman? And so again, just for clarity purposes, when we're talking about building a man, not that any one of these men or any one of these women is your man or woman, but the attributes that each individual person has are things that you like or are attracted to or you jive with or what have you. So Is there a comparison that's going on? Do y'all think that's a fair statement?
It's not a comparison. It's like buying a vehicle. I mean, when you get a vehicle, you're gonna put 20s on it. You're gonna tint the windows. You're gonna get some leather seats. So we calling it an upgrading from what you had. People just want to upgrade because the relationship they were in the past, they didn't work out. So they know what they missed out on. So now they want to add it to hopefully their final relationship. We're all looking for that one person. And a lot of people are going to keep trying until they get that person that they want with all the attributes.
Okay. Thank you, Archie. Go ahead.
I mean, Archie, I hear what you're saying, but I'm glad you brought that up. It's like buying a car. Really, it's like buying a car. You might have in your mind what you want. You're going to different car lots and you're looking at what you like about this car, what you like about that car. But I got to have this in this car and I have to have that in that car. It's the same concept.
Yep. There you go. It is. It's the same thing.
I don't think it could have been put any clearer.
Yeah. Same thing.
So Wendell Berry had a comment that I thought also bear repeating. He said, people are constantly sorting. You are always assessing who should have access to you, especially your romantic partner.
I definitely agree with that one.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
How do y'all feel about that, ladies and gentlemen?
Call him out, Marcus. Call him out.
Now, Jacinta, you tell us what you got from that.
Well, what he said. Well, I want the panel list to speak.
I mean, because the panel got quiet because we didn't get anything from it. So that's why so apparently you got something from it. So speak to us what you got from it.
Let me let them go first because
But ain't nobody said anything because
I know Upendo and Jacinta and Jenelle got something to say about that.
What is it that we're supposed to be commenting on?
Right.
It was the sorting. Wendell's comment.
Yeah, got it right down, Jenelle.
That people are constantly sorting. You are always assessing who should have access to you, especially your romantic partner.
Truth.
Okay. So
Upendo, did you ever make your comment? Because I know you was about to say something.
No, I didn't, but this just goes back to we talk about build a man or build a woman. And I mentioned this when I was on the show last time about when we talk about our lists. You know, we make these lists, and that is basically building a man or building a woman. These are all the things that we want in a person. But the one thing that is very clear in my list, and I think you all remember, I am looking for someone to inspire me. When I wake up, I'm inspired to be my best self. That means if that guy wants a woman that reads, I'm inspired to read because he's engaged me to read. He's engaged me to look at different things. And I think that's a different way to look at it. I just hate the term build. I desire to be inspired by my mate, whoever that may be, you know? And so in that frame, I'm always looking when I am dating to see what this person brings to the table. And you're right, Jenelle, we all come, you know, who we are, you know, whether we have issues, a lot of issues, or a lot of issues. We are who we are. And I think that as adults, dating, especially these days, and I'm just going to be honest, I always talk about being market ready. I always talk about trying to get this up to be market ready because there are some scandalous women out there. We are fighting terror out there with men and women, okay? They just are crazy, you know, not being real with men. And so the men have to deal with the fakeness with the realness. And so from that space, about build a man, build a woman, I mean, I think it's be who you are, be willing to be engaged in real dialogue. That woman, Henry, that kick you out on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, you know, clearly when you walked in and she had two, you didn't pick that up. You should have walked out. Like,
well, but I'm still a gentleman regardless, and I get it. You give a person a chance. I don't want anybody to say I didn't give a chance. I want respectful. So I gave you that. So now, when you come up to say anything else, there's nothing left to say. Like a mint condition song, nothing left to say. So you just have to look at it from that perspective. You know, she screwed it up. I didn't screw it up. Yeah, it's Christmas Eve.
Henry
You
thought he
getting
was
a takeout
gonna
here.
that night.
It's 30 to 45 minutes. Huh?
I
So what
said
now?
Henry thought he was gonna get a
What
Christmas
you
Eve
say?
gift, but he went home.
No, you know what though? This the God honest truth. I wasn't expecting nothing. But what I got, that on top of it was horrible. So, you know, my thing is she screwed it up. So she ever asked me again, Christmas Eve, Memorial Day, 4th of July, whatever, it's a no. Period. Because I did my due diligence of being a black man and being respectful and kind and trying to create a different atmosphere that didn't work.
Yeah.
So it's cool. I understand that. I chalk it to the game. It's just a page in my book of
Well,
what
you
not
know
to do.
what? I'm so happy that there still are some gentlemen that are around. So thank you, Henry, for being a gentleman. I do have a comment I wanted to ask out. Someone, Blair, he commented on my page. He said, women have expectations versus men have acceptance. So based on what has been said tonight, you know, pretty much all of the men, except for one, pretty much said no to constructing a woman. So it's kind of like they have more acceptance, but we have more expectations because I'm sure it's more of us that have written the list versus a man that's written the list on the type of woman that they want. So would y'all tend to agree with that?
Go ahead, Carlos.
Hold on,
You
Carlos.
gotta take it off mute, Carlos.
I got him. Go ahead, Carlos.
I was gonna say I definitely disagree with this whole notion about building a man. It boils down to, is this man a boy or is he a man? Is he a boy or is he a man? Your dad teach you morals. A mentor teach you morals. Different people that's in your life, they teach you morals about being a man. Why should a woman build a man? And you're a woman. Either you're a man already, or you need to develop a little bit more. It's more so when it comes down to women of today, it's about communication. You know, a lot of times we want everything into one, and it's not going to happen that way. You want a man that's complete. You're going to know if God sent you this person because he's going to give you a feeling that you have never had before. You're going to be like, wow, you know, I had this person, that person, but this person made me feel like I'm the only woman in the world. A lot of times we get this notion about, yeah, let me put this list down. He got to have this attribute, that attribute, this attribute. And a lot of times we get so stuck on how other people base their relationship. It's about you. What excites you? What makes you happy? And like I say, it comes down to being accountable. Hold these men accountable for not treating you how you want to be treated. Stop allowing these temporary people to come in your life and treat you any type of way. And then when the right man come along, you're holding him to a higher standard because you're bitter because of how the last people treated you. Whereas you know what you want.
Carlos, are you talking about the scooters and peanuts? You talking about the scooters and peanuts they might have had before?
Yeah, absolutely, man. or like you said, you got this one guy. He may know how to talk, or this guy may have money, or this person right here, he likes to travel. You got these attributes that is you. A lot of women want Michelle. They want Barack Obama. Okay, but a lot of times they go through this stage where they want the hood guy, or they want this guy with a lot of money to spoil them, or they want this. It's so much about material and what a guy brings to the table till they get out of the phase of their happiness. It's always what this guy got, what he can do for me. But it's almost like, well, you got all these things that you're requiring from a man, because a lot of women, they want a man to chase them, but it's like, okay, this guy is chasing me, but what? Because think about it. A woman wants a ring, right? But y'all women want a ring, right?
Not all women.
Women want a ring.
Not all
They want to
women.
get married. Okay, not all women, but the ultimate goal. But a lot of times when women say they don't want a ring, they've been hurt. And so now they don't trust men no more. So now is, oh, well, you know what? I'm just going to stay in this phase where I'm just dating, or we could just be cordial, and I'm just going to keep it as that. But I don't trust men no more. But this is the thing. Like I say, women that haven't been hurt, they want a ring. They want a man to chase them. They want a man to do this. They want a man to do that. But a man want to feel appreciated as well.
Can you speak for men and not speak for women? Can you speak for men? Because you're speaking you're giving you're giving generalizations about what women want. Let's talk about what men want. We can tell you what we want and what we'll allow and the issues. You talk about what men. How about you stick to men? How about that?
Thank you. Yes, Carlos.
Well, I do that. Well, we'll build. We set with the topic is building a man, but you can't build a man.
Or building a woman, either one. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, when it comes down to building a woman, a man wants chemistry. We want chemistry. We want a woman that can be our best friend. We don't want to be a situation where you got a pretty face, but we can't stand to be around you. She always nagging. She always got this to say. I can't never please her. She got this to say. It's about compromise. We have to compromise. We have to compromise all the time.
Jackie.
But like I said, we want to feel appreciated as well. Just like.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Carlos. Were you done?
Poor Carlos.
I feel like they want to say so. I'll let them go.
Go ahead.
I'll let them go.
Jacinta.
I know they got.
Go ahead. I seen you, Jacinta. Go ahead.
I was just asking, are we still talking about building the concept of building a man or building a woman, or have we ventured off into something else? Like, I understand what you're saying, Carlos, but I'm just asking the question because if we're talking about building a man and building a woman, and it's pretty much been said that men aren't really, from the consensus of what's been said, that they're not building a woman, but women have this concept about building a man. But I mean, when you're out there shopping though, and that's what you're doing, you're comparing, and we have a list, but men have I'm sure, do you all have a list? Yeah, are there certain things that you're willing to go for and things that you're not? Women do the same thing. So when you look at the whole aspect of dating, it is just like what I said earlier about buying a car. You do weigh your options, whatever those options are, and you pick the best option that you feel is right for you.
All right, so Jacinta, you said something real good. I've seen some men shaking their head about the list. So men, do y'all have a list? Henry, were you shaking your head?
No, certain things is okay. Each woman is different in their own way. So my thing is, I don't like women that smoke cigarettes, okay, but I like women that smoke cigars. You know, I like women that they cool to smoke hookahs.
Henry,
I don't like a woman, huh?
do you have a list? Yes or no?
Based on
I'm explaining my list.
We don't want to explain it.
I'm explaining my list.
We just want to know if you have one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Yes, I have a list.
He got one right. He was explaining it. He got my list. He was explaining the list. He got one. Archie,
we don't need you to expound upon it. We just wanted to know if you had one. All right.
Hey, listen. I think my brother was just putting it out there for any women because he's single. He's 48. He's in Birmingham, so he was just trying to give you a little bit of sprinkle.
I got you.
All right. So Archie. So Henry has a list. So Archie, do you have a list?
I have a hard copy list and I have a life living list. My list was compiled over the years of dating women, and also the list
Okay,
that I've
great.
written down on
Thank you.
paper.
Carlos, do you have a thank you, Henry? I mean, thank you, Archie and Henry. Do you have a list, Carlos?
Yeah, I have a list.
Okay, all right. So that's the answer. They do. They all have a list.
Okay,
They do.
so with this
Can
idea,
I do want to clarify because I did some modifications to my list.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
The list that I have, it's a tiered system. So it's like it's a long list. Well, I won't say long, it's a list, and then there are 1s, 2s, and 3s. 1s means that's none.
But you said, just like you corrected me now, do you have a list? Yes. That was it. It didn't have the tears or anything like that, right? I had to mess with you back. I had to mess with you back. I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you. I had to mess with you.
I wasn't the one that corrected you, sweetheart, but everybody had given their.
I'm having fun, baby.
No, I was saying everybody gave their yes and their no. So that's why I just jumped in to say I wanted to clarify. Mine is just not a straight list, but it's a 1s, 2s. Can I finish, Henry?
You can't. I'll
give you permission to start.
Before you finish, Jenelle, before you finish, that does answer your question, Jacinta, because Jacinta is the one that asked do men have a list. All men say they have a list. Go ahead and finish, Jenelle.
So there's 1s, 2s, and 3s. 1s is non-negotiable, must have. 2 is if you have enough 1s, I can negotiate with the 2s, and 3s. 3s are this might be like a 3 is has kids. I can negotiate with that if the 1s and 2s, if there's some 1s and 2s that are in order.
Look at Archie.
Never been married. That's a 3. I can negotiate that if 1s. So it's a tier system, but all of the 1s have to be met. And then the 2s and 3s are. So I feel like everybody, whether they say it or not, they have a list and they kind of negotiate. Everything is not weighed the same on that list. I don't think everything is weighed the same.
Okay.
Now I have another question for everybody.
Okay.
Since we talk about these lists, sometimes our list can be really long and sometimes our list can be really short. So when we talk about building a man and a woman, have you all noticed that over time, I'm just, for the panel, over time that your list gets shorter or does it get longer?
As you age, it gets shorter because now you know what you're looking for. In the beginning, you saw all the bells and whistles. You was like, whoa, I can make that person better. So instead of always thinking you can make somebody better, you got to get somebody that can meet you halfway so y'all can grow together.
So Archie, are you saying and I'm not gonna use age because age don't really determine much. I'm gonna use maturity level. So as you mature, then you actually understand yourself better and you know yourself more. So your list gets shorter then? Is that what you're saying?
The things that I thought was important coming up, they're not as important as you mature because a lot of things that we men think we need, we can do without. And someone hit it on the head. It's conversation. I want to be able to come home with my lady, laugh and joke. I don't care if she don't have no butt, no breasts, no nothing. But if we can laugh and joke every time I come home, we laughing, I'm going to forget about everything else.
Right, mental.
Yeah, I mean, that's just real.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know. I think I find that very hard to believe.
Right.
It's the truth.
Right.
So the both of you are saying, okay, so if sense of humor is your thing. So you're saying that if you can laugh and joke with this female and you can come home and, but she has no booty and no breast, you okay with that? She doesn't please you in the bedroom. You okay with that?
Not me. I need all that.
But the thing about it, the person is going to please you in the bedroom because of that communication. If you enjoy someone, the sex is going to be good because you want to make one another happy. A lot of people come from a selfish standpoint when it comes to sex because you're looking for what you want. But if you're actually going in it together and making each other happy, at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Now, the younger me, I had to have the butt and the titties, and you had to be nice.
Okay, I find that hard to believe, but okay. Because if that's the case, then why is a person's physical attributes the first thing that you look at when you're trying to holler at them?
That's as you mature,
right?
But when you really look at go ahead, Henry. When you look at couples now, the couples that live the longest, the dudes, they don't have these dynamite, drop dead gorgeous females. And I don't mean to take, they got average young ladies that want to be team players. The ones that got these ladies with these nice shapes and all that, a lot of them are single.
So why is it that a person can't have a person that has a nice body, that has a sense of humor, that has great communication? You know, how come they can't have a person that has the majority of the things that they want?
If they get it, that's great. If they get that, it's great. But I'm saying as you mature, that's not all you need.
Hold on.
But isn't that what you're looking for? Isn't that deep down what you really want, and why you're still single? I mean, I'm saying this for all of us.
So yeah, I think Aaron wanted. Go ahead, Aaron.
My thing is this: does the woman give that male enough time to find that out? I mean, because most women have these time blocks. It's like they only give you so much time, maybe 15 days, 30 days, 2 months, 3 months, or whatever the case may be. Second, are you spending enough time with that man to find out certain things you may like about him and don't like about him? That's the biggest thing. You know, if it's 5 or 7 days out of the week, are you seeing that person only 2 times, 1 time a week, or 3 times or 4? That makes a big difference when you're communicating with that person each and every day, mentally and verbally through the ear. When you converse with that person, you learn a lot about them. So my thing is, a lot of women just don't even give you that old school sit down on the couch in the living room back in the day when your mama and the family in the back chilling. They don't give you that now. It's not that no more. You got to be out, you're doing this and doing that, and then some of the women judge you because of you know of a lot of people and people speak to you and all this and that. So you always have that into the equation as well. So my thing is, do y'all just get in the private quarters or somewhere and just learn about each other?
Well, can I ask you 3-minute question?
Mm-hmm.
Since it's determined that y'all are single, why do you think y'all are single? Have you met a woman that has a nice personality, that makes you laugh, and but doesn't have the breast and the booty? Have you met someone, or why are y'all still single?
So myself personally, like I said, I have been married, dated, and the person, I know what I want now. I want someone that I look forward to coming home to, someone we can laugh and joke. We can share our list. We can alternate lists. Say like Tuesday, I want her to honor everything on my list. Wednesday, I honor everything on her list. And we just kind of flip-flop it back and forth. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different unique things you can do so that you guys can become one. But as you mature, like I said, as a man, you're not, I mean, nice breasts, nice behind is cool, but that's not, I don't get excited by that anymore.
I mean, same thing. It's just like, yeah, you got, I mean, nowadays you got so many women buying breasts, buying backside. You know what I'm saying?
I asked, the question was, why are you 3? Archie answered. So why?
Well, also too, you got to understand with that, it's just like most women have this air. And I'm not saying they should, but also too, open the door for a conversation with a person. A lot of women don't give a conversation because she looked this way, or me, they look at me doing security, doing events and being a banker, around a lot of kids. I know a lot of people. So it's like the insecurities come out with them. And my thing is, I can't make you be secure within yourself. You have to be secure in yourself first and foremost when you come into anybody's relationship or you're trying to date. Because you don't, it just, there's certain things that's going to happen. So,
hey, go ahead, Henry. Go ahead, Henry. I want you to finish up, and then I want the ladies, if anybody else got to come in, because we got a couple more questions we want to get to. So go ahead.
Go ahead. I mean,
all right, so ladies, did y'all want to say something, Jenelle, Upendo, Jacinta?
I wanted to say I didn't feel like I heard a true answer. Every answer was what the woman is not doing. The question was, why are you single? It was, the answers were, well, women need to, and if they brought, so I wasn't sure that I got a clear answer as to why you're single without you saying what women are not doing. Is that the answer though? You're saying you're single because the women you're dating are not doing certain things? I'm just wanting
No, 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 no,
clarification.
no, 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 no. What I'm saying, the reason
I got
I'm single because one, I'm not finding that person that want to spend time. Time, time. If you don't give me that time to go on a date, to learn who you are
Quality
as a person,
time.
then what am I doing? I'm not gonna play this damn phone tag or calling you, and then you call me back 3 days later, or send you a text, you send me a text 2 days later, or this happened or that happened. Okay, after 3 or 4 different times of doing that, bye. You just a number in the phone that's catching dust. So my thing is, give what I'm trying. I'm giving you 100% energy. Don't give me 25%. Because you give me 25%, I'm gone. I'm out the door. And they're just being real. It's called conversing, trying to converse, to communicate with a person that you're interested in. If you don't give that to a person, it's like a mute point.
It's good. Listen, and this is our trend. This is like segue into our next question. I know you want to say something though, Archie, right? No, Carlos had his hand up first. Go ahead, Carlos. I seen you. Then I got you, Archie.
Okay. Yeah, I was the only one that didn't comment. So I'm actually in the beginning stages with someone at this present moment. I did step out the box from my norm. Um, Normally, I like the big bud and nice breasts and all that type of stuff. Even though she's a beautiful girl, beautiful personality. We're in the beginning stages, so we're trying to see where this go at this present moment.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Carlos. Go ahead, Archie.
I'm just saying, I'm one Lego block away from having my perfect woman.
One Lego block. One Lego block.
One Lego block, and I'm gonna see her in January.
All right.
From the man who is sitting on his head. Okay.
Well.
All right. So, Nicole, if you don't have anything, I want to move into our next question.
Go ahead.
All right. So we'll start with the women first because all our men on here are gentlemen. All right. So, women, in your dating experience, what areas do the men need to step up? Your thoughts, your opinion. What areas do the men need to step up? I'm gonna start with you, Jenelle.
And okay, the question was based on the men that I have dated, what areas do they need to step up in?
So of course it's gonna be history. So based on what you think, what areas do the men need to step up
on? Consistency, honesty. And when I say consistency, I'm with Henry. Like what he was saying, if I text you and you take 2 days to text me back, or I call you and then it's like 3 days, like for me, there's a lack of consistency there. Emotional availability at times. So, I mean, I could go on based on different things, but I also think it just, for me too, it reflects what I've been willing to deal with, and felt like I could work with, even though, as Upendo says, it's some stuff you just, it should just be a no. But
all right, thank you. Upendo.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with Jenelle when we talk about consistency and transparency, which to me, equates to honesty. What I have found out in my dating life since I've been divorced is that guys say they want a real woman, they want an honest woman. And when a woman who is honest and transparent, they aren't ready for that woman. They are not ready for the real woman who tells you exactly who she is honest, and I expect that too, it just amazes me that when I meet guys, that's dating 3 and 4 women, they think that if they told me that would discourage me from dating them. Because I may be dating 3 and 4 guys. When I tell you that shouldn't discourage you if we are connecting and bonding, because it's a dating process. So I agree. Transparency and honesty is what I tend to find that's what's missing. And the dating world right now. I just, that is to me is the most important when I'm out here dating.
All right, thank you, Upendo. All right, Jacinta, go ahead.
Unfortunately, I have to agree with the other two ladies. Consistency and I would say consistency and communication. And that's kind of with transparency. If you can communicate to me exactly what's going on, then I can, adjust accordingly. But when you don't communicate to me and when you don't keep it consistent, what are you really expecting? What good are you really expecting from me when you don't give me that? Like, how could you expect anything from me when you aren't giving me consistency or communication?
Okay, thank you, Jacinta. Now, Nicole, it seems like the women are saying the same thing. Is it a way we can put that in the chat or something like that and have what the women is saying, what they need from the men? Can we put that somewhere? And then we're going to go to the men and have what they're saying?
Yep.
Okay, can I add something?
Go ahead, Jacinta.
I think one of the biggest issues that I know I have is that a lot of men have not dealt with their past issues. They have not dealt with them. So that's number one for me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then you agree with the rest of what the women have said?
Yeah. Well, and because they haven't dealt with their past issues, it brings about so many other issues in the relationship. It makes it difficult for them to be consistent, transparent, honest, forthright, all those things.
Okay. Thank you. All right. So, men, it's pretty much the same question. So, in your dating experience, what areas do you think or you feel women need to step it up in? So, like I said, from right to left, I'm gonna start with you, Archie. Go ahead.
The number one thing is time. Make me your best friend immediately. Let's put our backs together and let's take on the world. When we get into a relationship, we just need to make a pact that is me and you against the world. And like I said, when you get older, you should be able to hold to that. And at the end of the day, it's about you guys just being a team and growing. A lot of women, and I guess someone had mentioned it, that people still get stuck in their past and they don't want to be vulnerable all over again. Well, in this world, you're going to have to be vulnerable in order to find the Mr. Right or the Mrs. Right. You're going to have to be vulnerable, because if you're not, the dude might be as vulnerable as you. And when he's seeing you hold him back, he's going to be like, here we go again. Another female that's not going to give me 110%.
All right. Thank you, Archie. All right, Carlos,
Yes,
do I need to repeat the question, or you already heard the question? I'll go ahead and repeat it. All right. So we're asking all the men, in your dating experience, what areas do the women need to step it up in?
Off mute. Take it off mute, please.
I think he might be frozen.
All right. So we'll come back to Carlos. Henry, in your dating experience, what areas do the men need to step, the women, I'm sorry, need to step it up in?
What were those books you had, Archie?
Oh, these? Little free advertisement now.
Oh, Lord.
I think the women need to be straightforward and tell it what it is, what they like, what they don't want. Also, the process of just conversing and communicating and telling what their time is. Okay, I may have time on Wednesday to spend with you or not, or stuff like that, or just stuff like that, to the extent of, so we're not thinking you brushing us off, or we're texting you and you're not responding back. It's taking 2 or 3 days for you to converse back with me, or let me know you're going through a situation that you separated with somebody, or if you're dating, all this and that. That's cool. I ain't got no problem. Just don't make me look like a damn fool out here. If I'm trying to give you my time, hopefully a pipeline to my heart, let me know that. Let me know if I need to cut that pipeline off and just be hard and just listen to what you got to say until you say, okay, this is what's going on, this, that, and this. But a lot of women don't tell you up front. They tell you like 6 months later, well, I had this going on. I didn't think you can understand this, understand that. My biggest thing is, did you ask? Did you tell me? Did you give me a chance? If you don't give me that, then how would you ever know whatsoever? So that's the biggest thing to me. Communicate what's going on in your world, what time you have to spend with me, and how we could try to make this work.
So thank you, Henry. So based on what the women and men have said, anybody want any clarity on that or want to kind of add to what the men or women said?
Well, I'm going to have a sidebar conversation with my brother Henry, because actually someone made a comment that I think applies to him. And I'm just curious because it sounds like he knows his I guess your love language is quality time, but Henry works about 20 jobs. So, you know, and I can pick at him because I'm the same way, and quality time is my love language too, but you expect people for that, but we have to be willing to give that as well. And on the communication side. So I got a sidebar with you, brother, tomorrow.
All right, Carlos. So Carlos, can you go ahead and tell us what areas women need to step it up in?
Carlos is thinking.
You indeed thought.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. Now we can hear you now.
Okay. All right. I would say my thing that I feel like this would, you know, help out with, you know, with women and men. I would say the presentation when there's an issue. Presentation with communication, that goes a long ways. A lot of times, if there's a concern, you don't have to be aggressive with your concern. You know, it's more so like when you're trying to learn someone, don't come off as, you know, it's you're being okay. All right, let me go back. So a lot of times presentation determines if it's going to be an argument. It determines pretty much how we get to the next step. I feel like presentation is key from a woman's aspect as well from a male's aspect. Communication. A lot of times, you know, we blow stuff up that could be very simple, that we can easily be a 2-minute conversation, and then we're on to the next thing, and we can sing kumbaya. But I think communication is key, as well as I think women need to put a little bit more effort into pursuing someone that they're interested in. You know, I don't think it should be, you know, 80-20, 70-30. If both parties is interested, I feel like both should be putting in the exact amount of energy to make this thing work. A lot of times we get so caught up until we feel like, oh, this person need to be doing this if he want to win me over, or she need to be doing this to get my attention. I feel like if you're really into a person, you're gonna do whatever it takes to make it work.
Okay.
So I think it's communication on both parts and making it work.
Okay, definitely. Thank you, Carlos. So Nicole, do you have anything? Because I want to see, do we have time to get into the video?
I just wanted to be clear on the women need to step up in the areas. I heard quality time, presentation, communication. Was there something I was missing?
Presentation.
I put presentation.
Okay.
I just said that.
Sorry.
Archie, is there something I was missing from your list of things that women need to step up? Archie?
He's on mute.
Yeah, I was muted out. Like everybody's just quality time, just being transparent from out the gate.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Nick, you got that song queued up for when we go? That quality time with you. You got that queued up, Nick?
Who's the artist? All right. So Nicole, do we have time for the video? I know we're gonna show some comments. Do we have time for the video?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. Is this anybody else want to add anything to what's been said?
All righty.
No. Okay. All right. Cool. So let's cue up the video because I want to get in that discussion also as well, just based on the video.
Okay.
All right. It's a short video, y'all, so we're not gonna bore y'all to death. It's a real short video, but it's very interesting.
Mm-hmm. All right, y'all bear with me.
So this was a video that one of our viewers, actually Candace, sent in.
I always, list in my cash flow, then I also put out what I have going out. Inside of my budget, because I am a single man and I'm dating for a purpose, for marriage, I do have a line item for dates. That line item is not a lot. I'm not going to give you the particular number, but it's not that much. So about a few months ago, I took this young lady out, we went out to dinner. She texted me, she says, hey, first day, cool, but can we go to this particular restaurant next weekend? I didn't respond because I wanted to go home and check my budget and make sure that, okay, I can afford it out of my budget. So when I go home, I realized it's going to take me over that particular line. So I said, all right, do I tell her? I was thinking about this line, y'all. Let's be real. I was like, can't go, I'm busy. But then, you know what? The Holy Spirit said, no, don't lie. Show her the caliber of man that you are. So I sent her a text message that says, hey, unfortunately, I can take you out next weekend, but I can't take you to this particular restaurant because if I do take over my dating budget for the month, I would be more than happy to budget this in for next month if we are together. So I send it, and I got an iPhone. And then on the iPhone, y'all know how it happens. When they start typing, that big old bubble come up with a dot, dot, dot. I'm thinking like, okay, cool, we good. Then the dot, dot, dot goes away, and nothing comes in. And I'm sitting there, I'm emotional, like, dang, did I just play myself? Dang, did she just play me? Y'all, she didn't text me for 2 months. She didn't return a phone call. She didn't do that. And I'm sitting here like, well, what the heck? How was she going to sit here and say, you know what? I can't respond to that because a man's going to stick to his budget. That's sad. So she seen me on a particular national show. I ain't going to say who, but she seen me on TV. She sends me a text message and she says, hey, just seen you on such and such. How are you? What about that date? I started typing and I really wasn't typing nothing. I just wanted her to see the dot, dot, dot. And I didn't hit send. Because here's the thing. You can't play me and then honestly think I'm going to come back to you after you've done me like that. What's the whole purpose of this story? My vision for my life and for my money, because I stuck to it, it actually blocked me from dating a particular young lady that probably wasn't healthy for me. So to anyone who's out there dating, when you have a budget, you stick to that budget. Your plan is your pathway to your future. You stick to that plan. You stick to the vision. Where there is no vision, that's where people perish. And I believe when we just go out there and just spin and let people manipulate us into changing our vision for our life, I could do it to the restaurant. Honestly, I budget. I budget every single month. At the end of the month, I always, list in my cash flow. Then I also put out what I have going out inside of my budget because
All right, that's it.
All right, so Jacinta, I know you were starting to tell us about the video, and so you could finish that, and then if you want to ask the question about why we wanted to show that video and get the thoughts.
Oh, well, yeah, that video was sent in by Candace. She thought it would be a good topic for us to touch on the whole budget. But in the video, there's so much that I loved about the video. And first of all, I love that man, That's the kind of man I want to meet because he was just being real, and he talked about he had a plan, So the only thing I didn't like was him being petty back to her with the little typing part.
No, petty all day. Petty all day.
Well, I just feel like you should be able to tell the person why you didn't want to talk to them. But at any rate, yes, do y'all feel that, for a man, if he were to come to you and said that he had a budget, what would your thoughts be on that? Because even Henry, I'm sure, will have something to say because the Christmas Eve situation, she wanted an expensive dinner, So can y'all chime in?
So let me add to that, Jacinta. So the budget is saying like you asked to go to a particular restaurant and this guy saying it's not in his budget, right? So how do you respond? Are you okay with that? All the above.
So real quick with me, I used to say if my mate say let's go eat here, that means she's paying for it. If I say let's go eat here, I'm paying for it. But that's when we're in a relationship. That's a fun thing to do in a relationship. If I'm just dating, if I can't afford a particular restaurant that she wants, or I will ask her what restaurant she want to go to. And in DC, there are a lot of restaurants that are 5-star restaurants. And you go to a 3-star restaurant and get the same product. But men have to be upfront with their finances, because what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to start out one way and I can't continuously be that dude. I'm retired. I get a retirement check on the first of the month. So I'm going to be that old grumpy dude. Hey, we can go there next month, but we can't go this month. Let me save a couple of coins. If a person is really on your team, they're going to be like, you know what, baby? I'll help you. I'll pitch it. Or let's just go next month. What are we going to do this week? Which is all about being a team.
Okay. All right. So thank you, Archie. So ladies, I think Upendo, you were starting to say something. Go ahead.
Yeah, I let me just shout this out to my Natasha Terry. She sent me a private text to say, Upendo, you know you wouldn't go to McDonald's with nobody. That is true. I'm not going to McDonald's. Not because I don't want to be with you to go to McDonald's. My stomach can't take McDonald's, so all I will be getting is a Diet Coke. So I will go to McDonald's, but I can't eat at McDonald's. I'm older. My stomach is gastrointestinal challenged, so it just doesn't work for me.
But you will still go. You will still go.
I will still go, but I'm just going to have a Diet Coke. I can't have nothing else. But
girl, that fillet of fish be busting.
I can't. I got an older stomach now, so I can't do McDonald's. But what I will say, I love that video. The reason why I love that video is that, number one, if I am going on a date with a guy, I'm trusting a guy enough for him to take me wherever he desires to take me, number one. Number two, if he tells me he's on a budget, that speaks to the honesty and transparency I was looking for. I accept that. I find that actually very attractive to say this guy is being honest and say, you know what, I can't afford to take you to 3 Forks. That's a very nice restaurant in Palm Beach County, but I can afford to take you to this restaurant because this is my budget and I have a budget I need to stick to. I find that actually very inviting for my dating life. Again, I want to be inspired. I don't work off a budget. That inspires me to work off a budget.
Good. All right. So, Nicole, what do you think, Jenelle? You're on mute.
I agree with Upendo. Agree with her wholeheartedly. I will say, I am of the mindset though, if I suggest a restaurant and he says it's too expensive, I don't have a problem saying I got this one. I mean, especially if I see there's somebody I want to date again, I got it, or we can split the bill. I mean, if I suggest it, usually I'll say, well, I suggested it, so I mean, I'm cool with paying. That's not a big deal to me.
Thank you. All right, Jacinta.
I love the video as well. I think it was awesome that he had a budget and he was sticking to it. He wasn't letting her push him outside of that budget. Because who's to say pushing him outside of that budget could have cost him his house? I'm just using that as an example. So his priority were in order and he was straightforward. Like, I'm not going over my budget. I absolutely love it. And I just feel like I've had this question has come up lately in a dating group that I'm in about finances. Finances is a big portion to relationship, and even though I've never been married, it's a portion in marriage because I watch my parents. It's a portion in marriage, and so it talks about his language with his finances already up front before he even gets to that portion. So it gives you some insight to that as well.
Carlos, you there? All right, we'll come back to Carlos. Henry, because I kind of heard what you said, Archie. Henry, so would you be comfortable telling a female that if they suggested a restaurant and you can't afford it, would you be comfortable telling them that because you're trying to stick to a budget?
All day, every day. Don't have a problem with it. Because most women, some women, I can't say all, some women will try to go to this high-end restaurant knowing, they might not even eat. They just want to test to see what you're going to do. And like in that situation with a friend, I knew I'm not finna spend this type of money because I know I'm not finna eat it. If it's too much food, I'm not finna eat it the next day because I got Christmas food to eat. So it just didn't make sense. Second, yeah, I got a budget. I ain't finna just blow $150 day before Christmas, just to eat a kind of like dinner. I mean, hey, I can go to the grocery store and cook that stuff and make it even better and make it, special. We can cook it together. There's certain things you can do to, you know, to make, just to get her in and throw into you in that way. So that's where you have to just be creative on how you do stuff.
All right,
So,
thank
yeah.
you, Henry. Carlos, you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. So you heard the question. So would you be comfortable telling a female that you can't really afford that restaurant that she may have suggested or you guys wanted to go to, maybe probably her, because you on a budget? Would you be comfortable telling her that?
Yeah, I think that exemplify leadership skills. That's somebody that can lead you. He's not going to make stupid decisions due to the fact that he's trying to impress you. I think it should be more of a situation where a woman feels inspired by this man's honesty, and he's actually, because in his head, I promise you, in his head, he's gonna be like, "Dang, I feel like I let her down." So it's actually gonna build him to actually, you know, get a better job, do overtime, do something that way he can accommodate her the next go round. So I think that's an excellent quality that he just exemplified for men. But a lot of women of today, not all women, a lot of a lot of women won't even give him an opportunity because they feel like he can't provide for them over a date. But really, in actuality, he's trying to build himself up.
Thank you, Carlos. Anything else? Any other comments? Nicole, you got some? Jaquitra?
No, it's a lot of comments coming in.
Okay. Let's see what the comments got to say.
Dan said he budgets $200, one for me and one for her, with $100 on reserve.
And a high roller.
Right. L.H. Henderson said, I believe in balance.
That's LaShonda Nicole.
Okay. Hey. I will invite and pay. I've been told I can't go out this week and be wasteful. And I say, well, let's stay in and be alrighty. Nasty. Yes. Miss Henderson is nasty. Okay. All right. Dr. Monica is on. She said, I think this was a very interesting exchange of thoughts. Thank you, Dr. Monica. All right. Tasha says, stop it. The budget for dinner is priced on taste.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Natasha, you want to give us some clarity? Seems like most of the women are saying that they appreciate that or like it. You know, they're not seeing him as cheap for being on a budget. At least the comments that have been rolling in.
Yeah, I agree. I think, like Carlos said, I think a lot of women, and I think all the men pretty much said that they see that as a leader. And he has financial consciousness, financial literacy, so that's a skill, actually. He not there just spending stuff he don't have. And it sounds like to me that he probably do a budget every so often because, you don't want to do a budget once a year or once every 6 months or whatever. You probably want to do a budget kind of quite often to know where you at. So it sounds like he kind of is consistent with that.
I'd like to say, I think when I look at this forum as well as others, it seems to be like a mismatch because our experiences that you've just heard don't seem to be a lot of the experiences that men experience. They'll say, oh, I dated this woman and she wanted me to buy this or she wanted me to pay for this. This is what I hear on different forums. And so what I often see is it seems like, guys are complaining about a certain type of woman. And then on the other forums, I see the women complaining about a certain type of guy. And I think a question maybe for another Single in the City platform would be, why does it always seem like there's a mismatch? I know good guys who, for whatever reason, can't get the woman and I know great women who, for whatever reason. So why is there this mismatch. I think that'd be a good topic for the future.
Good question. I think some, in many regards, the communication is lacking. For whatever reason, maybe there's a unwillingness to be honest, or unwillingness to be transparent, or unwillingness to accept the person when they are honest and transparent, which has been mentioned here tonight as well. So I don't know. I don't know if we're hearing each other.
I just want to understand.
Hearing and not really listening, not really actively listening.
I'm sorry, I had to go. Something was going on with my internet. But Jenelle, can you just repeat the question? I want to understand what you were saying. You said mismatch.
I just said I think it's a mismatch. When I hear the narratives from men, even on this platform, those narratives are always usually about the things that, just like if you're talking about the budget. Oh, I dealt with a woman. I think Carlos said most women want, and most women, and a lot of what he's saying, I'm sure is based on his experiences. But then we're saying something different. And so I'm saying, evidently, there is a mismatch between me finding what I want, because I'm complaining about guys need this, this, and this, and they're saying the exact same thing. So it's like there's a mismatch for some reason in who we are attracting, because if they're having communication issues with the women they're talking to, and then my friends that are wonderful as well as myself are having communication issues, then it seems like whoever we are attracting, we're for whatever reason there's a mismatch. And I'm always seeing great guys or great women, but they're never on the same platform together. There's always this mismatch. So
wow, I definitely agree with you. I think that's why we have to continue to have these types of dialogue, so that we can openly discuss what some of the issues are, because I think that's what's not happening a lot of times. We're not really having the conversation, and we're afraid sometimes to ask the hard questions, because when we start talking to one another, I think a lot of times we hold back on some of the things that we want to ask someone, when we should be asking the hard questions, because things are going to come up. And then I think a lot of people say that they're ready to date, but they're really not ready to date. They still want to see who's out there. And if they can get, when they say, oh, I'm okay with her not having no booty and no breasts, but they still out there trying to see if they can get somebody with some booty and breasts and all these other things. So that's what I think, if you want to be honest.
Yeah, I think so. You just basically said the same thing I said, Jokeitra, and then folks in the comments are saying the same thing about that communication, having a dialogue. Candace is on and saying, honesty, communication, transparency, time, all of those, I don't know. We really have to, I think, do more active listening, and again, be willing to be honest and transparent. And I think also be willing to accept the person, receive what they have to say about themselves, and I guess determine whether or not we want to invest our time and our energy and our efforts in them, or move on. So maybe we can get you, Miss Connector, since you are the connector. You see the mismatch on different platforms, you see where a match could be made. Maybe we can get you to help us out with that, ma'am.
Are you speaking to me?
I'm talking to Jenelle.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, because in my experience, what I found when I've matched people up is they're not being honest, they're not being transparent. They're saying they want to date somebody, but they really don't. They haven't dealt with their past issues, all of those things.
Wow. I
wanted to just say this. Sometimes I think we date the same people over and over again.
So why do you say that?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, why do you say that?
Just based upon some of the things that, we have issues with certain people, and, people do have types. Some people have types, and we subconsciously, because we're drawn or attracted to them for whatever it is that they possess, we tend to date those same things that attract us or appeal to us over and over again. And so then we have the casualties that come along with those same type of people.
Okay.
It's called insanity, doing things over and over, expecting a different result.
But we do it.
Okay.
So Dr. Monica had a comment that said to speak more about active listening. I don't know who she was speaking directly to.
Well, I mentioned about active listening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to manage these comments too. So yeah, I think, with active listening, it requires a little bit more. How do I want to say this? It requires. I think oftentimes when we are listening, we are sometimes maybe prejudging what the person is talking about, or what they're going to say, or maybe anticipating some of what they're going to say, and not really getting to the root of it sometimes. So I think maybe asking more questions. I think maybe making sure we have a clear understanding, which could include maybe repeating what we thought we heard the person say, right? Because we may misinterpret what they're saying, right? Y'all looking a little perplexed.
No, I think we're looking because we could be guilty of not actively listening. And we could just be waiting to respond instead of actively listening.
Right. So no, I think that sometimes some things can be misunderstood. So I think getting some more clarity and making sure we, to the best of our ability, because sometimes folks can be a little, I don't want to say evasive, but it may not be as clear. But to the best that you can, really try to be clear on what's being expressed and make sure you understand it thoroughly. All right, we got to retain it too. I'm navigating a lot here, y'all, so y'all bear with me. Go ahead, Archie.
No, I'm saying also a part of it is actually retaining something that actually affects you and what you're going through. Don't try to listen to the whole conversation. The moment something actually hits your nerve, you need to kind of just let it fester and retain it and then go revisit it. A lot of times we don't accept that the person's actually talking to us about us because we're so used to hearing the negativity. We don't take other people's insight and kind of retain it and go back and revisit it on our own.
Gotcha. I think too, what often happens, and this is just because I'm consider myself a conversationalist and have a lot of different conversations with people. A lot of times, folks are looking for themselves in the conversation, and what I mean by that is they aren't really listening for what the person is saying, but how they can relate to it. So I can tell you, over Christmas, I went to Disney World and we did this and that and the other. And then you'll respond, well, I remember that time I went to Disney World and I met Mickey Mouse and Minnie and we did this and we did that. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to really listening to what it is they are telling you. You're trying to relate to whatever it is. Sometimes I find that to be the case with people.
I agree.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. So Dan said creating a safe place that will can somebody read that? For some reason
allow dialogue to understand one's truth is very important.
Okay. So just kind of going a
I think I think we need to have more safe places, and I know at our last live, there was one comment on there from one of our viewers that really just kind of resonated with me. And I actually reached out to him to have a conversation, a more in-depth conversation about it, because a lot of times what we say on here, it can be taken out of context, or someone might not hear the entire, conversation. And I know DK is on here and he talked a lot about how we take, biblical verses out of context. So So yeah, I think it's important to have a safe place to be able to discuss things. And we're not going to always agree with everything that everyone says, but people need to feel safe, you know, and to be able to respond. And we need to respect that because that's their experiences, you know, that's their feelings.
Indeed.
So I hope that's what we're doing for Single in the City.
I hope so too. All right. Any other comments as it relates to the budgeting video, or as it relates to the build a man, build a woman, or anything else that we talked about? The list, comparisons, what men and women need to do to step up. All right. It's quiet, so I guess that means
Jesus.
y'all are thinking, y'all are marinating on it all, right?
I said we need Jesus. Jesus, help us, Lord. Please help us single folks find the one.
What you say?
Send them to us, Lord. Bring them down. Shower them down on us, Lord.
What you say, Joe Teacher?
Hey, I'm gonna go into a praise fest because y'all gonna get y'all a man, get y'all a man, and get y'all a man in 2021. Okay, ladies. And me and y'all gonna get y'all a woman, get y'all a woman, get y'all a woman in 2021.
All right, Oprah. That's what you sound like.
Can we all just touch and agree? Can we all touch and agree one time? Come on, touch and agree, ladies.
Yeah, look at you.
2021 is gonna be the year. Claim it. Come on, Carlos. I need to feel that power. Claim it. 2021.
You are funny. All right, so we got a lot of comments coming in. Somebody's asking the fellas, are you looking for the same types of females in every female you meet, and are you afraid to step out on your list for ideal woman? So they look, they
want to go first.
They being quiet. I don't know if they want to tackle that.
Oh no, as you mature, things changes. I mean, nothing stays the same.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing stays the same.
All right. So even your list changes, right? Because
your list.
You talked about that earlier.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. All right. So Hope said we just have to adjust that a relationship is not only about our needs, but also the needs of the other person. We want to get and keep our relationships. Oh my gosh, Levon, there's still 3 days in 2020. I may come up before 2021.
All right, Levon, that's the kind of spirit I'm talking about. See, that's who I want on my team right there.
Oh my God.
That's my Seminole brother right there. See, he know. That's how the Noles do it. Thank you, Levon.
That is hilarious. All right. Well, anybody have anything else that they want to say in closing? I also would like to give an opportunity if somebody has any announcements about anything that they have going on, up and coming, by all means, we want to give you an opportunity to share. Okay.
This is the time, Archie, for you to show your books.
Yes, now would be the time to promote your book, Archie.
Yeah, and you know you have them close by.
All right, Archie, tell us what we're looking at.
The Parent, the Coach, the Mentor.
The first book I wrote is called The Parent, the Coach, the Mentor.
Okay.
The second book is The Mentor That Inspires.
Okay.
I'm a mentor. I do a lot of motivational speaking. I love building and uplifting young men and young women, and share the conversation that we're having now. A lot of the young men and young women don't get these conversations because I guess people don't think that they're mature enough to get it. But in this time, we need to start talking to them to get their lives on the fast track, to teach them what maturity really is, opposed to allowing them to fail so much.
Okay. So how can we connect with you in terms of your books? How can we have access to the books?
Yes, go to coach2mentor.com. Coach 2mentor.com or even archiebeslow.com, and it goes to my website.
Okay, got it.
Well, kudos to you. And I do think you hit on a very valid point. We definitely need to start having this type of dialogue with our kids, with whomever we encounter, so that they know, and they may have some struggles with, relationships.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I'd like to actually piggyback off of Archie. That was, I think, one thing I did not say, that when we talk about issues with men in the past, and that is a lack of mentorship. And so I think that a lot of men that I meet have a lack of mentorship, and I think they had good mentors who they were accountable to, that would take care of that would help out with that communication piece as well as others. Most women, at least in my circle, they have mentors. They have good mentors. I have multiple good mentors who can get me right up when I talk to them about issues with guys or just issues in general. So I think that's a big one. I think is having adequate mentorship. So kudos to you for focusing on mentorship in your books as well. So.
Thank you.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. All right. Y'all are mighty quiet, so I think that means
is it January yet?
Not yet.
What's
coming? Things happen in January.
What's going on in January?
I don't know. Little Bird told me I might be tweeting.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we ought to thank our guests, our panel: Jenelle, Upendo, Jacinta, Archie, Henry, and Carlos.
We lost Carlos and Nick.
We lost Carlos and Nick.
They need to pay their bill.
Now Upendo.
They're on a budget. They're on a Wi-Fi budget.
They should have told us that they would be more respectful. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, my internet was acting up and my bill is paid, so anything can happen. Although Carlos is in the country, he in Albany.
Right.
So, DK, hey DK.
DK says that Archie's gonna get his woman in January. All right. So again, thank you, panel. We really appreciate your insight, your time.
Wonderful.
Yes, for sharing and bringing your followers and fans to the chat, to the conversation. This has been quite spirited, to say the least. So, definitely want to have you all come back at some point, maybe, and maybe even talk about the mismatch and see how we can do a match.
Well, that was the idea I told you before. Yes, to do it, have a guy or a woman, and then have 2 or 3 guys asking questions. That would be a good idea.
Yes.
Okay. Paint the picture for me again, Jenelle. You said do what now?
So kind of like Nicole, what was the name of the show that I was telling you?
The dating game.
The dating
yeah,
game.
like you have like Upendo is sitting there, and then Henry, Archie, and Carlos are on. I'm just giving you an example.
Henry and Archie, because I already know them, and they got.
No. I'm just painting the picture. I'm just painting the picture. So you got 3 guys. Okay, let's just 3 random guys who are single. And I actually saw recently there's a celebrity, she did a virtual date, like you sitting here talking and conversing. It was very, very entertaining. So even just something like that, a virtual date where you have this platform and they're going back and forth, talking, asking questions, or you have one and then you have 2 or 3. I'm not sure how she'll be, if she'll blindfold herself or what, so she can't see them. I don't know, but I think that would be a good idea. Yeah, love connection. That's Emily said it. Yeah, something like that.
Oh, that's it. Or the dating game. I thought it was
Archie and Henry. I'm just kidding. I don't know y'all, so
stop, Archie. Just stop.
She said I was crazy.
Henry, what are you doing, Henry? What are you doing?
Henry chilling.
Henry is getting ready to probably go back to work.
Okay.
So you want us to wrap it up so we can go back to work.
We are.
I already know.
We are.
Who's performing tonight, Henry? Because I'm jealous because I'm not there.
I'm not telling. Nah, ain't nobody performing tonight.
All right. All right. Well, if you're interested in this idea of love connection or the dating game, let us know. We could try to coordinate something in 2021. Not only the panel, but the viewers. We
Yeah,
also
they really gotta be ready to go on a date too. So they need to be serious about it. You know, that's my only thing.
right. No, agreed, Jacinta. Agreed. Absolutely. All right, we're trying to get Nick back, but seems like we still are having a little bit of technical
Well, yeah, Nick is he's in with his in-laws, so I think their internet may be acting up.
Yeah.
So I think he'll be okay.
What I will do is share Nick's information because I know that the Love Innovators is accepting new clients. All right.
I need to be with Nick. I'm gonna have to get with Nick.
Oh, look, Taz said that there's I guess he got a 95-5 rule.
Okay. What's that?
Tazaris.
No, I'm saying the 95. That's like the 80-20.
Yeah, but he has a 95-5 rule. Yes, Taz. A lot of people may know Taz if they're on my page. Taz is a VP of Financial Services in Birmingham with Henry. And we did a whole series for my Miss Tallahassee Caribbean platform. So he was very excited about the one time for the man being financially conscious for men and women, because that's what he preaches all the time. But then he said something about a 95-5 rule. So Taz, if you're still watching, can you just put it in the comments what your 95-5 rule is so we can know? I was trying to catch up on some of the comments on my page.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I put Love Innovators information in there. So definitely reach out. I believe Nick is doing free first time consultation. So check them out. Check them out.
And Henry, they said that you was telling too much on the guys. That's what they said. But we appreciate you. Now, I do want to say this last comment by George. George was one of my clients that I love. He just moved to Tallahassee. He's singles lady, very financially conscious. But he said that at this age, I believe that your why drives the connection and commitment, knowing that your desires complement each other in order to commit to a joint life track. I just love that. So he said your why, I believe at this age, your why drives the connection, which I think is true.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Good deal. All right. Again, all hearts and minds clear. Trying to wrap it up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I'll look at the comments later. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much. Y'all were wonderful. Upendo, I wish Unique could come on the screen.
No, she won't be on.
Tell her I love her.
I will definitely. She can hear you. She's on upstairs.
All right.
You got it, boy. Yeah, I'm finna go in here for a minute. You coming in?
Oh Lord. See, I told y'all Henry was at work. That's why the quality time.
Okay.
His girlfriend would have to be at work with him.
All right.
Like all his 10 jobs.
All right. All right. So good night, everyone. Happy New Year. Thank you again.
Good night.
It was nice meeting you all, Upendo, Archie, Jacinta, Henry.